We're sipping IPAs and dippers, dippers and the tippers, impies and the sours, sipping on the sours. Smashing crafties, smashing beers.
We've got an intro song. It's all
amazing.
A pal of mine helped me with it. What's the show? The show's called Smashin' Crafties. Smashing Crafties, smashing IPAs and dippers, dippers and the tippers, impies and the sours, sipping on the sours, smashing crafties, smashing beers. And that's the effort.
Love it.
You had said your favourite UK breweries, Burning Sky, Beak and Colonel.
Yes.
If Colonel wasn't in the mix, what would your preference be?
If
Just
Colonel wasn't in the mix.
Just as a first brewery to go to, because we've got, not going to spoil the surprise, but there might be.
Oh, I like surprises. Well, I don't know.
It's
Like
a bit of a shitty surprise. It's either Beak or Burning Sky. Essentially, where do you want to start?
I don't mind.
Let's go with whatever the hand falls on. Right, we have.
Yeah, I've not even cracked my Heine boy yet.
We'll save the Heineken.
Well,
And we're going to go with.
oh, nice.
Burning Sky's Quench.
I've not had anything from Burning Sky. Recently.
I was going to say that was
Yeah.
my admittance. So
Really?
well, that's the thing. I am not anything special of a beer nerd at all.
Wow.
I've been around the industry, but it was mostly for the sake of working the bar at Northern Monk.
Yeah.
I've tried to get into the scene, appreciate who the fellas are, what have you. But there's just so many beers out there that
it's insane.
Yeah.
Like, it's so silly the variety available to us now.
And I was saying to Johnny when I picked this up from Rainville that I'd always assumed they were a French brewery because
Right.
the aesthetic.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the language that they use on some of the beers as well.
Yeah.
Even. So they're based in, is it Brighton area?
Yeah, it's...
Oh, can't look at the can.
what's the name of the place? Firle.
Firle, you're right, yeah.
Firle. Like, it's like a hamlet. Like, I visited...
What's
for
a hamlet? Oh, that's like a smaller than
smaller than
a
village. Yeah, and it's it was mad. Like, thank you very much.
Nicole, if you want to.
Yeah, I visited for the first time
Not the
this
camera.
year, and it blew my mind, like just how idyllic it was. Like, it was just so silly. But Mark Tranter, I hope I said his surname correctly. I'm terrible for that. But his first brew is Dark Star, like the original kind of OGs of UK craft beer.
Johnny told me this, and I'll tell you what I said him.
Don't know Dark Star.
Like I say, I'm a total noob. I think
No, man.
my whole thing with the Grafter show, with fucking everything, to be honest, in life, I know what I know, and for the rest, I'm going to ask questions. So it's
better to know what you know and not pretend you know something more than you do.
Yeah. I found recently, I keep saying shit, and everyone's like, no, actually, that's wrong. And I'm trying to think what even the most recent one was, but it's like just all of my reference points are just shot at the moment. I think I've just been out of the loop on everything on life, full stop. Working from home does that. But
I bet.
let's have a sip.
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
Tastes like a forest.
So New Zealand Pale Ale. What hops we got in the mix? Nelson?
Spot on.
I don't think it actually references the hop that they use in there.
Oh, really?
Oh no, sorry. I'm lying. Nelson Sauvin, Rawaka. Nelson Sauvin and just Rawaka.
Nice.
So yeah, just pure subtle fruity vibes.
Sure.
That's
It's just spot on. It's not even just that. Like how soft it is.
yeah.
Like, you get a lot of like other kind of UK brewery pale ales, and they're too effervescent. They've overcarbed it. It's too sharp. The pH isn't correct, and it's like, oh yeah, there's the hops, but completely dissipates because there's no proper backbone to kind of carry that flavour through.
Yeah.
Whereas this is spot on. This is exactly what you'd want from any kind of just straightforward pale.
I think for me the differential is it's hard to know when that's intentional or whether whether you've gotten like a core range where they've just nailed it and they know exactly what they're doing time and again.
Yeah.
Or if you happen to just get a fluke.
I hate core ranges.
Okay.
I always get so kind of put off when someone's like, oh, here's our core range beer. And it's always kind of a bit like, right, okay. Like, it always feels like it's your, like, cheap, like...
Ready salted crisps.
This is it, yeah. This is what we think is good enough for everyone, and it hits our price point. But, so I'm always a bit wary. Like, Beak, bring it back to those boys. Again, well, because Firle is one village, and then Lewis is the next village over. Well, town, I suppose.
Yeah.
So they're right next to each other, which seems ridiculous that they're my favourites. But like they've introduced a new core beer called Hum, like a pale ale.
Yeah.
And I instantly was like, I don't care. Like as soon as you said core, I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't want it. It's actually really good. I was like, fuck, this is great. Something nice and refreshing and great to see within core range parameters.
I think for me as well, it's a part of the craft journey has been establishing which of the beers for each of the respective breweries is part of the core range. Just that learning journey of anything, you know. And it's like I'll often equate the sort of the craft scene to the music scene because I guess that's most of what I know. And it's that thing of like almost you go to the genre and like the big boys. So like you could fall into hardcore and say Biohazard is like the obvious early band that people fall into. It's almost like those catch bands are like the sort of the core range almost of the genre.
Yeah.
It's yeah, good analogy. Fucking lovely stuff. I think we're gonna keep it. Oh, Burning Sky.
Nice.
For the sake.
I didn't realise this is what you were doing when you asked me what my favourites were.
No,
so
it
it's
wasn't
by
that.
chance that
I
I
didn't
then brought
know.
a Burning Sky to the party.
Ooh, was that yours or was that mine?
No, that's yours. I've just brought a bottle, didn't I?
I do not remember buying that.
That's-
That is Burning Sky's Petit Saison.
You pointed that out when I got here.
Well, I fucking forgot, didn't I?
It's funny because back to my hatred of core beers.
Yeah.
That's one of their core beers. It's phenomenal.
Why I bought it, yeah.
Just straightforward, 3.5% saison, but they've given it a 6-month barrel. It's like you can't get like a little decent canned beer for a decent price with that kind of barrel age. But they prove us wrong, and it's amazing.
What do you think that is behind that then? I think it's just the fact that they are relatively well established now, so they know what they can kind of take the chances on when it comes to the aging of things. Because it is a real roll of the dice when it comes to that world.
Oh, for sure. I mean,
you've got years of experimental experience there.
I mean, I've seen a bit behind the curtain in the process with this, and I know that they've got just dedicated barrels for the Petite Saison.
Okay, yeah.
So it's less of that risk, because it's like, this is our barrel that we use each time and bring it round, which is great. So you're not having to worry about any super alien funk. It's, you know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
And like they've got obviously great process, so any kind of wild beers, they handle it just right, so nothing is it out of place.
Going to palate cleanse. You've done a palate cleanse with Heine.
Yeah, well, not just, yeah. I thought, nice bit of craft foam on my Heine, you know?
Oh, do you know what? I've got some super old school Heineken tankards downstairs.
Nice.
Keep forgetting to break them out for a show. Actually, yeah, speaking of which, do you fancy a shot?
Go for it.
Yeah. I was going to, I weren't sure what you were doing, whether you were driving over and we're going to do like little sips and therefore couldn't fully indulge. I was going to load up my Nicole with a shot.
I'll skip on the shot.
Skipping on the shot. I was going to load up my fishy fella friend.
Amazing.
So we could pour it into his little baby shots. What are we saying? Go with Penderin?
Please. I've not had any of this yet because they recently got their accreditation. It's like an official.
Oh, I forget what it's called, but the term, the French term, Provence.
Something like that. Like
provincial,
protected produce, basically.
I'm just going to interrupt. Tom, do you mind moving forward slightly?
Sure.
As you guys are chatting, all I can see is the bookcase behind you.
So Tom's moving forward to stop the bookcase from rocking.
These
Jesus
bookcases
Christ,
are
this
rocking.
is- I-
It's just 'cause I know how much it's going to drive you mad in the edit.
yeah.
So,
Right, there's more in this shot glass than I assumed there would be. Let's try and do a shot from a fish.
Chin chin.
Chin chin.
chin.
That was sexy. I liked it.
It was a lot easier than I was expecting.
That's what she said. Oh.
Ooh.
Whew. I haven't done a shot in a few weeks. Right.
Hiney chaser.
Petite saison. How would you describe, so my go-to on descriptives would be farmhouse style or some sort such.
I mean, like, farmhouse is a wonderful umbrella that we can
For saison.
hide stuff under, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
How would you describe the saison experience to somebody that's a pure lager lad?
it's not too dissimilar. There's a lot more flavour from the yeast, but the actual basic ingredients are very similar. Essentially, well, the saison traditionally, a lot more wheat. You're looking at about 30% wheat, 40% wheat, with your base malt, which would probably be like possibly a lager malt or anything like that. But obviously it's the yeast that changes it, and that's why we call it a farmhouse, just because it's that kind of extra funky wild yeast.
A bit more reactive.
Yeah, definitely. Unlike lager, where that's bottom fermenting, saison's still top fermenting, so it is in the ale world. But you get lovely citrusy, like peppery. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's great. Like it's because it's not overpowering. It's just that lovely delicate. And if you have this with food, like it doesn't matter what food you're having, it's just a great accompaniment.
I've never thought to pair a saison with food. What sort of food would you go with? Flavour profiles.
This might be me just being a bit high right now, but like just fish and chips.
Okay.
It's just that it's strong enough to carry through all that kind of fatty food.
Yeah.
But like I say, it's a good accompaniment to any kind of food, really. It's how because originally when I kind of got into the beer, I hated saisons, I hated farmhouse beers. It wasn't my kind of bag. I was like, what's going on? And it was through having them with food that I learned to appreciate them.
Oh wow! Right, well.
So
I always think that
let's have a sip.
saisons are quite savoury. I always think they have a saltiness to them.
Yeah, definitely. And as soon as you say that, you get that on this really strong. But then that lovely kind of citrusy finish.
Yeah.
The peppery notes that I mentioned that are kind of akin to the saison yeast, they are more of a long-term thing. So like if you were to sit on this for a while, that's kind of going to develop a bit. When like beers like this are quite fresh, they're far more citrusy. Like Orval's a great example. That's just like super lovely, zippy and fresh and citrusy early on. But as it develops, so do all the flavours and becomes a whole nother beer.
This for me it's exactly what it says on the tin, not to sound cliched, but it's the usual saison vibe, but just not quite as overpowering.
Yeah.
It's very, very drinkable, and probably is a superb onboarding for the whole kind of farmhouse. I wouldn't say the sour stuff, but actually this does taste like some of the more accessible stuff, like the way that Vault has gone more recent. Vault, what they do.
Yeah,
their base.
They're definitely wanting to be that more. Because obviously they go all the gnarly shit, and then like not everyone wants to have like a Fanta Ice Blast with a cherry pie on top.
Yeah, I think I kind of with Vault personally, I'm finding that my sticking point is when there's more than 4 words on, like it's just because they really do have a tendency for like just over egging. But then maybe that's kind of where their market is, That's what the people are after. But
if it works, doesn't it?
Yeah. And if it doesn't, you scoot off and set up. What's it called?
Oh, Holy Goat.
Yeah. Because that's much more in line with the sort of the farmhouse style.
Definitely more traditional kind of.
Yeah. I would say though, I'm yet to be blown away by them.
Oh really?
Yeah, and I feel like it might just be that their beers need maybe more time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've been like buying them, cracking them.
Yeah.
And enjoyable, but not like what I wanted from them.
Yeah, you wanted a bit more.
My expectations were a bit higher.
Yeah. I mean, like, to be honest, I've not had all that much from them, but what I've had has been, it's been big. Like,
I've got
two
two up here. Yeah.
I think I had a tin of theirs, but it was like...
I've got a tin somewhere.
It was a sleep rip-off, which is why I was really keen on it.
Okay.
It was something like Sonic Titan, something like that, or Smoked Titan.
It might have
been
been
a big smoked stout.
Oh, cool.
I may be completely wrong.
I'm trying to think whether I've got one somewhere, but yeah, it's one of my best pals, Jim Bob, does a lot of their artwork.
Oh, sick!
It's he's I don't know if you remember band Taint back in the day.
How'd you spell it?
Taint, T-A-I-N-T.
No.
But then he went on to do a few other bands, but he's currently killing it with this new tech metal sort of band he's done.
Oh, sick!
Over lockdown, he basically wrote the entire album himself. Learned how to play drums a bit better, I think. Wrote everything, recorded it all himself, well, with a pal, and they've just toured Europe with Dead Guy.
Oh, sick! What were they called?
Silverburn.
Yeah, no, I saw someone posting about...
Might have been me.
Yeah, I was going to say, no, it was you posted about that, because I was like, oh, sick, Dead Guy! Because obviously, I would love to have seen them at Damnation this year.
Yeah. No, he's always at Damnation, because he does the posters for them most years.
Oh, nice.
But now Jim Bob, so yeah, shouts to Jim Bob, check out his artwork, Jim Bob Isaac. But back to the beer, yeah, so this is a fucking killer of a...
It's so good.
Yeah, insanely enjoyable, and one up for the core range team.
Yeah, right? And like, I like to be able to eat my words.
I love being wrong. That's one of the fucking best things in the world when you can...
This is it. Like, normally I'm such a fucking negative person. So if I'm right, that means, oh shit, it's great.
Yeah.
Something's awful's right. I'd rather be wrong and have something nice.
Yeah. Absolutely. I'll tell you what, editing out the coughs is a motherfucker. I've been coughing as well, though, so it's equally me, but it is what it is. That's going to be hell on my weekend. But
oh, dude, like when I came out of Dark City this weekend gone, like I left early because I was like, oh, I'm just knackered.
Yeah.
But I was just dead. I don't know what I picked up from that festival, but...
I think we're all just so not used to going out anywhere now that, like, whenever we go out, we were saying, like, when I went to Converge the other week, I picked up something, Nicole picked up something last weekend when she was at...
I picked up COVID.
Oh, jeez.
Potentially.
I picked up COVID and ended up missing Damnation.
Right, so we are going to go from the Petit Saison to the Saison de Bêche.
I mean, I can't speak
Exactly, we're not
anything.
French.
I can't speak or read.
We're not French, and neither are they, and I think that's the point. But we're going to go a little more adventurous with...
This is it. It's understanding why you thought they were French, possibly. Like, they really alluded to it with everything they've done.
But as I say, even the... oh, Jesus, what's that? Is there a cork? Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, sorry. I've got a cork. Fucking almost like derailed the show.
So I'm just loving the... What's that?
Well, I thought it might have been some funk.
No, right.
My eye wasn't expecting to see a cork. But yeah, as I say, they're naming their fucking beers French things. So with this beer, what we're going to try is... we'll pour it out into some wine glasses, have a taster. But we've also got some very fancy, I don't know how you describe them, tasting glasses? Glasses for the connoisseur of the world. And essentially, when we've tried them before, these glasses literally make shit taste better.
Oh, wow.
So what I'd like to do is have a taster with the regular, and then we will load up into what is known as Zalto.
Oh, wow.
Zalto glassware. My heart rate increases every time I come near them.
Feel the weight.
There we go, so feel the weight of that. Light as a motherfucker. But what I'd also...
I feel like I shouldn't be touching it. If it's...
That's what she said. But we will also then, as the other end of the experiment goes, be trying it from bullshit plastic. Because I was just curious, I thought, why the fuck not, you know?
No.
Just, we can see the full range of what happens.
I mean, well, no, it's nice because I always think this about like beer drinkers is like who should be educating who, like because when you get like new people into like beer, it's a minefield.
Yeah.
All the stuff,
I've been saying.
and like it's horrible because people act like you should know this stuff already. It's just like, yo, don't be that dude. Like, where can people learn? And it's nice. I personally think breweries should do a better job of educating their customers on styles and like serving and drinking. But like, yeah, that's
It'd be a fantastic event. I mean, when I was working for Northern Monk on the bar, there, you'd be aware of this. They supply us with the training required.
yeah.
Let's get one for Coley. And it was, I think it was Adam. Adam that took us through it, and it would be all the sort of these are the off notes to look out for when something's not quite up to par, and just the tasting guide to the whole experience.
Nice.
Something of that nature. I can't imagine that not selling. Like sort of, essentially, they're doing brewery tours. Why not do
Like put
guided tasting sessions and?
It's well.
And I mean, they've got a bar with they've got 12 taps, 14 with the cask. They'll always have stuff in the cellar, like crazy beers in the cellar. So places like that really, it's money on the table. But I guess it also comes with having the right team in house to want to be able to do that or to be able to do it as well.
Yeah, we used to do a lot of it at Brewdog. Like I used to be on the bar at the Manchester one, and we did these beer schools. But it was funny because it was like it was basically just carte blanche to what you wanted to say. Like I'd do my best to try and fit in as many kind of like Brewdog. Brewdog lies as possible. Like, oh yeah,
They pay the staff well.
Well, it was just fun, like watching people walk away, like, wow, James Watts really was the first man on the moon. Oh yeah, that's how he learned how to brew beer, and just dumb.
Right, let's get away from the Brewdog talk.
Yeah,
let's
sorry.
dive in. So
You can beep it out.
Can you give us, because you started going into what this beer was about earlier, and then I said,
Sure.
shut the fuck up, we'll do it on the show. So, as I said, we have Burning Skies Saison de Pêche. Pêche? Saison de Pêche.
So, I believe it was originally for their 5th birthday, and it just went over a storm. It's essentially their take on Cantillon's Foufoune. But less kind of obviously like lambic kind of Gers style, just much more their kind of take on a nice funky saison. Now I don't know if it was the original one that they released or because this was the second time they've done it. I know they've done it maybe 3 or 4 times since. I don't know if it was this one where they actually used the same, or if it was the first one where they used the same peaches as Cantillon's Foufoune.
Okay.
So
There we go. Right. Well, I reckon
And I'm gonna say
Nicole
that
is saying.
it might be a mistake to have it in the Zolter because I wonder if it's gonna.
Right. So Nicole reckons it might be
too
a.
much.
So they
But
can't
this
hear
will be
you, so we can't
interesting,
hear. Yeah. So let's have a taste. I know.
that aroma is just incredible. It's just juice.
Yeah.
That is.
Like, I'd have this on like Christmas morning. Like this is.
But again, that is. It's. I think it's got that smoothness of the petite, where when you're firing out. I forget how to pronounce it. Cantillon.
Cantillon.
Cantillon. Again, I'm a noob.
No. Well, I mean, I don't even know if that's how I'm meant to pronounce it.
Yeah. But it's. I think I've only had like 4 or 5 times in my life because it's a big fella.
Hen's eggs.
I think I've
Hen's teeth.
I've done one on Christmas Day as well one year.
Nice.
I just decided to push the boat out. But whenever you go in that direction, it is again so much more overpowering of an experience. This is a 6.5, I think it was 6.3. So even on the alcohol front, it doesn't.
No.
You're really not getting the strength.
The thing is with this
So
kind of
quaffable.
style is it's the fruit and it being rested on the fruit for such long durations. and such huge quantities.
This is just ridiculously delicious.
Like,
I wouldn't have gone in this direction for the sake of knowing cantillone,
I'll have
cantaloupes.
What's that Italian roll? Cantillone? No,
Cannelloni.
cannelloni. Yeah.
Or cannoli.
Cannoli.
I was thinking it was a Springbok-esque animal. I don't know. Yeah, I would avoid that for the sake of assuming its reference point with the cantaloupes. And with the cantaloupes, I appreciate it, but unless I've got like a gang of people to share it, there's no way I'm having a bottle between 1, 2, or 3. It's just a bit too much for me flavour-wise.
Yeah.
It's just the acidic. I think maybe it's just my stomach, but the acidic it's game over.
Do you still find this one as acidic?
No.
I was gonna say because this is like.
I was just thinking. I'm wondering what I'm going to feel like in a few hours down the line. If I'd have been drinking this, we've had a few, but like if I'd have been on this for the duration, I want to go to the fancy now. So let's.
I mean, that's just.
Whilst you got that fresh in your mind, so I'm curious to. What we found previously was that the Zaltzer glasses kind of made the flavour profiles quite subtle. They were still there, still really enjoyable, but there was a subtlety that wasn't there previously, and I'm curious what will happen because it's already quite a subtle drink.
Oh, amazing! I'm really excited.
To the nose, I'd say it's actually maybe worse. I'm getting off notes. Are you getting that?
Yeah, I wouldn't say. Like
something not.
But you kind of you're picking out a bit extra. Like it's not just the.
Okay, go in. This is.
It's not just the fruit. You're kind of getting a bit more of that funk.
Which one? This one.
That's interesting.
Wow, that like the acidity's really brought out a bit
that's
more.
what I felt. There was more of a like. There was more of. There was something alive that wasn't there previously.
Yeah.
There was like, my explain like I'm 5 brain says it's bubblier, but.
It's.
The way that I always explain it is that those glasses are like prescription glasses for your palate.
Mm.
And that
these glasses are prescription glasses for your palate because they can't hear. So at the moment it's just silence.
That's fine. So there's a certain amount of clarity that comes through in the flavors. These glasses are usually. It's quite unusual to see them in beer glasses. They're usually it's usually used in the high-end wine.
Yeah.
Sphere, which is how I discovered them. My sister gave them to me.
Oh,
She's
nice.
wine, and.
Right.
It's very interesting too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I am going to suggest we now move on to the plastic.
Let's go one more on this.
Yeah.
This is like
Right, now onto the plastic we go. Yeah, our mind's about to be blown. Oh, no.
it's so like, you know what? If you're like at a kid's party
It almost
and
feels
someone
like,
handed you that,
yeah,
didn't say anything about what you're drinking.
it would taste like, this is what it tastes like if somebody put orange cordial and soda water. Or peach cordial, I guess.
And any cordial.
Cordial and sparkling water.
It's so bizarre.
Yeah. So,
Like-
so the lesson there is avoid plastic glassware.
What? Like it's ridiculous.
This is what we got to experience before. It was we tried, Hudson Valley.
Yeah.
So we had one of theirs, and yeah, it was just pure night and day.
It's horrendous. Like honestly, I'd be like, cool. Thanks for giving me your kid's drink. Like, wow. Plastic glasses plastic cups really do a disservice.
Yeah. Pardon me.
Jeez. Like,
Right, let's smash on through. That was so enjoyable. That was ridiculously good. All right, let's
it's
put
funny,
these
in the
somewhere delicate.
Normo wine glasses, you kind of get a creaminess from it.
Okay.
Like, you kind of get that fromage frais aroma.
Oh,
Like, it kind of...
Petit Falou.
Yes.
Petit Falou.
And,
Back to the French.
the a couple of douche brewery beers that are just pure Petit Falou.
Oh, wow.
There we go. We're going to break out the fish glassware now.
Nice. More fishes.
More fishes in hardcore. Wait, oh, this is the wrong show.
I was going to say, there's a fish in hardcore. I saw him at Dark City. Well, he likes hardcore. There's a guy called Fish. He likes
okay.
hardcore. He lives in Leeds. I hope I haven't doxed him.
I don't know a guy called Fish. Actually, no. Pig. Pig used to sing for the South Wales band Rectify. No, old 90s stuff. We are moving slightly down the road to the next village. We're going with Beak Brewery, and I bought this a bit ago, and I've been wanting to crack it. And we've had a few failed attempts at doing the show, so.
Oh, yeah, shit. oh, my God.
But we got here in the end, and now we can finally crack it. But that is to say that if this suddenly doesn't taste the bomb, it might be because it's been in
my
the fridge
fault.
for. No, it's all good. So this is a blueberry and vanilla sour from Beak Brewery down south, Brighton-esque neck of the woods.
Lewis.
Lewis.
That's how they pronounce it, yeah.
Do they know?
Yeah.
Oh, Lewes.
Highly recommend visiting. They've got a really good selection of pubs. Also, Harvey's breweries based there.
I don't know that.
They're like the JW Lees of down south.
Okay.
Like decent. Unfortunately, their tap room, I suppose you'd call it. I can't remember the name of the pub, but it's literally opposite the brewery. Every beer I've had brewed by Harvey's that I've drank in there has tasted shit. But then I've had the same beers like other pubs, like local pubs, and they tasted so much better. I'm like, yo, come on.
Right, well, let's get into this. Beak, this is my first taste. Oh, no, I think we had a dipper of theirs a few months back. All right.
There's a real kind of creamy pastry in
Yeah.
the aroma.
No, I was going on.
I've not
with
even tasted it.
The mouthfeel is like, there's a real subtle creaminess to it.
I like that one a lot.
It's like them jelly beans. That kind of
That vanilla really takes it up on the back end. That's lush.
really softens it.
Yeah.
Like the blueberries, really nice and upfront, but there's for a sour, it's not like it's a puckering tartness or anything.
It's more of a slight tang.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a 7%er. Pretty fucking good. Have got any other details? Unfiltered, unpasteurized, of course. What do you reckon to that whole concept? Is it something that we even really need to talk about, or is it?
It's so vastly important.
But
like,
it's kind of the way that the industry is en masse. So like if it's the defaults.
Oh no, but it separates you from your big boys.
But within craft though.
But just in beer in general. So like if like from a home, like I came into the brewing world through home brewing. What you learn through home brewing is the importance of every stage. Now, this is why you've got so many craft breweries with their own like decent canning lines and kegging lines and everything on site.
Yeah.
Because if you're not giving it that like kind of full attention all the way up to packaging,
somewhere in the train is going to go wrong.
Yeah, exactly. What's the point? But then you've got your big boys who will like send their beer like across the country to get like packaged, but where it will then get pasteurized, it'll get filtered. This is like, it's just stripping everything away from what it's like. Oh yeah, this is beer, but it's not. Oh, this is good beer. This is just.
So do you lose quite a lot from the filtering process, flavour-wise?
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
For sure. I mean, it's a strange one because obviously the whole like hazy thing.
Yeah.
Initially, that was the importance of that was that the haze is like extra flavour kind of suspended within like the beer, but then you had people who were adding haze, and it's like, well, you're not adding flavour. And if you've not got the flavour there already, if you're just adding haze to a okay beer, you're still only going to have an okay beer.
I remember Northern Monk's Hop City 2019 beer, I think it was, we tried. And it looked the part.
Yeah.
It was every respect. It was like, even had the fancy cryo hops and all of these sorts of things. But when you got into it, it's like, this does not taste what it looks like.
Yeah.
And it's, as you say, it's that thing sometimes.
It's process.
Yeah.
And I recently learned of, it's a few products now, but the one that comes to mind is from Lallemans, who are a great yeast producer, like tend to be like dry packet yeasts, but you can get from them a haze. So you can just brew like a crystal clear, bright pale ale, and then you can get this product from Lallemans to give it haze.
Haze it up.
And it's just like, it's so strange that we've become into a world where it has to look the part as well as taste the part. And it's like, well, if anything, that's going to be a better beer without the haze. Like just a nice, straightforward, honest beer. But unfortunately, social media kind of draws us into like, it has to have this, has to have this.
Instagrammable.
It's got to be
like
Instagrammable.
Kim Kardashian skins bra with fake nipples.
That's it.
It's basically, sorry.
That's it. It's strange how it all develops and it's changed, but it'll change again. I mean, friends who have been in America recently on fact finder missions, like hazy beers, it's not
off.
Okay. And like the whole West Coast resurgence, not that it ever really went away.
I've never been a fan.
Fair.
Yeah.
But that's human nature. We're not meant to like bitter flavours.
Yeah, I think for me, I've because I kind of found the craft beer thing via Northern Monk, so I'm very much a Northern Monk child. Yeah. Essentially. So like just the hoppy stuff. If I smell citra in the air, then I'm just back to the happy place. And so that is for me. But yeah, it's interesting when you kind of listen to the like international beer podcasts and like the American trends and where everyone's kind of lying at the moment. But it's
nice just listening to the international breweries and listening to what they feel is important.
My favorite thing though is picking up on the things that people say, well, of course, this is this, because it's shit that I don't know. And it's like, those are the moments when people say like, oh, well, of course, blah, 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 blah. Of course, this trend is on point because of blah. Of course, this yeast is blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I love those moments in the show because it's like, it's almost like the cheat code to understanding what the fuck this industry is about.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Like, and again, it goes back to just educating the drinker.
Yeah.
Don't just throw something out there and expect people to know. Just talk. That's the whole point of beer. Yeah. It's a talking instrument.
And I think this one, possibly what we were drinking before, is just kind of shielded the first few sips, but the more I'm drinking it, the more I'm getting the blackcurrant now. Right. It wasn't quite as blueberry, so it was close enough. And I think the vanilla's kind of dropped away a bit, as it tends to do. Yeah,
if anything, I think the vanilla just supports the mouthfeel for it. So like throughout, it's a
beautiful
soft
feel to it. Yeah.
Real soft, just again yogurty, like fruity yogurt kind of beer, and it's just easy.
Right. Well, we're fucking loving this one then. Beak, down in Lewis. We're going to go on to the next one. I don't know why I'm saying it like that. I think I've got an old friend of mine, Lewis Pugh, currently the Burner Band. Check out the Burner Band, full of music references tonight. Used to be in a band with him back in the day, and I think I must have just somehow compartmentalised forever saying Lewis. That's him.
Lewis.
We are going to go in with the next one. And... keeping it Beak. There we go. I have no awareness as to what. Oh, fuck.
Oh shit!
Well, there we go.
Come on, Beak. We expect better of you, lads
I mean, what the
and
fuck?
ladies.
Which beak is that? Sorry?
A massive beak. This is all over the fucking table, Beak. Who is
Send in the bill.
who is Max to you? Is he cousin,
No, Max is my brother, unfortunately.
brother? Oh fuck! Sorry, dude.
Yeah, no. It's fine. I've lived to learn. No, I've learned.
To live with it.
There we go.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he's an individual that I've known over the years, and now works for Beak.
Yeah, he's a brewer. He's currently in Antwerp,
Okay.
representing Beak at Billy's beer festival.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah, he's having a nice time.
It's a beautiful, beautiful place.
Very nice.
That is to say that you're not in the least bit biased.
Well, this is it. Did I like Beak before Max joined?
I imagine you probably did.
Yeah, I like. It's funny. Beak have got a wonderful history. Initially, one of your kind of early cookie brewers across the UK. Hence the name Beak. It's that kind of tie-in.
Oh, is that where it comes from?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they settled down in Lewis. And yeah, they're doing great. I mean, this is fantastic.
Let's have a fucking taste.
I mean, yeah.
That's the one thing I forgot to bring up is some tissue paper. Well, let's do that. So, sorry, did you have a sip?
I've not had a sip yet.
You've not had a sip.
Well, I have tasted this already. Nice. Nicole? Are you good?
No, we are
Nice.
independently vaped. No, I think there's. Oh Jesus, so much on here. So this is Beak with their. It's a two-parter. They. Do you know anything about this release?
Yes and no.
Okay. I know that there were two separate beers.
So this came from a fooder that they had.
A fooder.
Yes.
Do you
So
remember that? Sorry, is that a tank of sorts?
yeah. So a fooder is a big oak vessel. So
okay.
say in your brewery you've got your normal whatever fermenting vessel, stainless steel. A fooder is going to be the same size, but it's all wood.
Okay.
So it just, oak traditionally, and yeah, so they did a saison in that, and then they split it between barrels. This barrel, red wine barrel, that they put yuzu into the barrel, where it rested on that, and then once they took that out, they put it with raspberries. Or it might have had raspberries before it went into the yuzu barrel. But yeah, just really incredible. It's had a long life. It's like a 2 to 3 year old beer.
Okay.
So properly.
The funk is strong.
Gone
With this
there.
one. Give it a whiff, and it's fucking
It's wonderful.
outrageous.
Well,
Fuck! It smells like I've eaten a meal when I. That's outrageous on the nose. That's like one of the greatest things I've ever had hit it. Fucking hell, that's so strong.
It's incredible. I mean,
That's legitimately part of what you're paying for with these beers.
It's verging on smelly trainer for me.
really? Okay, have you tasted it
Nicole
yet?
thinks
No.
it verges on smelly trainer.
It'd be interesting to see how it smells after you've tasted it.
It tastes so clean that I don't know why my nose.
It's all that funk. All that funk.
I was expecting a hell of a lot punchier.
Yeah, it's not as. But again, it's had that long process
Yeah.
in the barrels. It's been allowed to mellow. So you still get that, if you give that a pH check, it's going to be low. But you're not going to get that strong acidity, because the barrels and the oak and everything is kind of imparted just this gentle touch and just, that just really rounds it off.
Same with wine, where it just gives it a lovely little Makes it a little bit cushiony.
Exactly.
I'd be interested to see a blind taste amongst people who didn't know that this was beer.
Yeah. Well, I've got a nice little connection with this beer.
Okay.
So my cidery, Torn Plant, we've actually got these barrels in our cidery right now that I've then filled with our cider. So next year we will be releasing, as a collab with Beak, a pet nat cider.
Sorry, so
Pet nat.
so pet nat, pet nat being.
So pet nat, it's just gonna
What does it mean?
it's just complete natural fermentation.
What does pet mean?
Petite.
Like the petite,
Small.
like it's the small, it's the
Small
farmhouse.
it's basically it's all the nice natural yeasts on the fruit. Once you juice them, that yeast's not going anywhere. It's there in the juice, and then it starts working at the sugars that have been released from the juicing process. And it's going for the fermentation. So all the cider is 100% spontaneously fermented by all the origin yeasts from the orchard where they came from, down in Herefordshire.
Yeah.
Whilst that's kind of cracking on, we've then put it into the barrels, and then again, so we've got all the like yuzu, lees, and like kind of residual like saison yeast kind of embedded in the oak and that in the barrels. That'll then start contributing to the fermentation process, and then just imparting its flavors like that kind of oaky vanilla.
Yeah.
So,
And entirely, we 100% have to get a separate microphone for Nicole, because
yeah.
I have questions.
and the whole thing is that this is show one, and we're working out.
Yeah.
Is this show one?
Yeah, we haven't done this before.
Oh, damn. We should have done an introduction.
No,
I did enjoy the natural kind of flow of things.
I'll explain. This I know what I'm doing.
I was kind of like, are we doing this? Just keep acting like you're being filmed, Tom. Just keep.
Yeah, no. There's a whole process. You'll understand when you see it. Nicole has many a time. Nicole's got a question, but we're gonna have to because every time you talk, all everyone is seeing is literally just
Nothing. Yeah.
So-
sorry.
So we shall. So whatever the question is, I'll say it as you say it. I'll say it so people at home can hear it.
Technical question.
Technical question.
Pet nat.
Pet nat.
Insider.
Insider.
I know in Champagne a pet nat, you can buy a pet nat, which is champagne that hasn't gone through its second fermentation. So is it the same for pet nat for cider, or?
No, right. So when I say pet nat cider, what I'm referring to is I'm going to do an early racking phase into bottles and keg. And when I mean early, it means that the fermentation's still happening, and it's just going to give it a natural fermentation. So you get all your natural carbon dioxide, giving it its fizz and giving it its flavour. And that's the beauty of pet nat, is it's the whole natural process, like what you're tasting and what you're feeling is how it's just intended. There's no kind of brewer intervening and being like, oh, I'll chuck some lactose in here.
Yeah.
It's just, here it is, a nice, gentle, wonderful drink that's just been curated by someone with barrels.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool. Back to this one though. So what are we saying?
I love this.
What are your? What are you picking up as you're going into it?
It's strange, like as we were talking
very,
about.
very mild.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
But as we were talking earlier, like the whole kind of perception of a drink and how you're drinking it and like seeing it, like from the colour, I want to taste watermelon.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And like it's obviously it's not watermelon. It is that lovely fruitiness, but it's that like kind of Jolly Rancher vibe, but an elegant one.
Boozy guava Rubicon.
Boozy guava
Nice,
Rubicon,
yeah.
says Nicole.
Yeah.
I'm getting it from my side. It's got a little bit more body and a little bit more push than Burning Skies.
Yeah.
very, very similar. I'm getting the farmhouse ilk. Obviously, it's entirely how this has been produced in that style. But it sounds a little of an obvious touch point to go to. But it's just where my brain is, what I'm picking up on this one. But it's just very, very drinkable. I didn't think this was going to be quite as smooth an experience.
It's that lovely dry finish. Like, you kind of get this nice kind of chalky juiciness residual in your mouth, and you're just like, oh yeah. And because you're kind of chasing that flavour, you just have to keep drinking more. It's just like,
and it's a very easy thing to do as well.
Yeah.
It's a very drinkable beer. With that said, we're going to seg away from the beer.
Ooh.
And into the cider. Because, as I understand it, you're a man who produces. Right, so this is, you've graced us with 2 bottles. Should we save one for downstairs?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so which would you say?
Let's save this one for downstairs.
Okay, we'll save, so that's going to be, we're going to crack Desanier 2 on Parade of Grafters, episode 12, 11, 10.
Just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And we'll just edit until we get the right one. So make sure you check out Parade of Grafters for Tom's full story. But before that, I just realised I could have got fucking foam to the nose there.
No, I knew you wouldn't. Don't worry, man.
Do you know what? I'm running out of glassware. This is something which
we can reuse.
I would recommend reusing the Zoltos.
Reusing the Zolto.
Ooh, yeah, that'll be fun.
Because
For the cider.
I found cider really lovely in that.
Right. Do you know what? I'm going to give him a quick rinse, but do you want to give us a very, very quick dry cider? Okay.
Oh yeah. So Torn Plant Cidery that I started 2021 with Noah Torn of Chapter Brewing. It literally was a kind of labour of love. I went into brewing from home brewing, and it's one of those kind of things that like, oh man, home brewing was such a lovely part of my life, and turning it into a career, you kind of lose that. So I was like, I want to make something that's great for eating with cheese, like just chill, just lovely, subtle, delicate drinks. But I didn't want to waste my time making like beer and that. So I kind of stepped into the world of cider, which was completely new to me. But I was just like, yeah, I'll just get some lovely apple juice and I'll ferment it with some wonderful funky yeasts and exciting bacteria and yada, yada, yada. Noah, who I was talking to at the time, was like, this is what I've got going on. He's like, yeah, that's sick. I love cider. I'm from Herefordshire.
They love the cider.
Oh, they love it. If anything, I think Herefordshire Council probably got wind of what I was doing and sent Noah on a fact-finding mission, just to make sure that I wasn't giving cider a bad name and just protecting it.
You give cider a bad name.
Sorry. Right. And yeah, so we then was like, yeah, let's just do this as a proper thing. I was like, okay, yeah, cool. So we took my little weird cider that I'd been making in my kitchen, and then we bought like proper apple juice from Herefordshire, got it shipped up in an IBC, and then we just started fermenting it and barrel aging it, and we're like, fuck, this is great. And thankfully other people have really been enjoying it. Now,
this is called Susurrus. And it sounds like a Greek individual who's pushing a boulder up a mountain.
So Susurrus is the sound of wind through like woods. The susurration of the wind on a yes and no. It's the susurration. It's the sound of movement. So it's not just wind through woods, but it's also the ripple of a stream. It's the susurration of the water through a stream.
And on the label, we've got a blend of 90% 2021 Dabinier and 10% 2022's Dabinier.
Yeah, so...
What the hell does that mean?
That's the apple variety. This is it.
Okay, yeah.
This is why it's so exciting, because like I was never a fan of cider. And then I kind of started dipping my toes in that. I was like, okay, yeah, and like dry cider. And like, I got in my head, I was like, well, cider is essentially British lambic. Like,
Okay.
it's a wonderful heritage product, and I just want to kind of get involved and want to know it more. And yeah, that's kind of how I got into it. Now,
And now
so,
this one's also been 6 months aged in whiskey barrels.
yes.
What the actual fuck?
So it's a lot going on. So the 2021 Dabinet, that was,
And that's literally
Like-
just an apple.
yeah, just one apple, single
So you're referring
variety.
to like
So it's like a single hopped beer.
when you refer to it on the label, it makes it sound like it's a thing.
Ah,
But
well,
it's
yeah. So just
in the cider world though. I like the sort of the apples. Obviously, apple is king, but it's
Yeah.
like, is it like
It's like your
insanely
hops.
serious?
Yeah, oh, for sure. Like it's like a
obviously,
hops,
actually, yeah.
So like I say, it's like a single hopped pale or whatever. So the 2021, so it was 9%. So it'd been barrel aging, and obviously Angel Share, so it lost its quantity in that. So
Sorry, Angel Share.
so when things are fermenting and barrel aging and conditioning, it's just the natural kind of evaporation of the alcohol out of the barrels through the wood.
Okay.
So you get that so you could fill a barrel to the brim, but then you start to get that kind of decrease.
Yeah.
But then the problem with that is you're leaving a surface of area that's not being touched by the wood. It's just touched by the air. So all your bacterias that you don't want can affect it, and that's how you get oxygenated things. So we added fresh Dabinet juice to that to fill the barrel completely.
Yeah.
So that was the 10%. So
Oh, okay. Yeah.
that's a lot. So, because I mean, we only released this at the start of this year. So the whole process started in 2021. So 2 years down the line. So the barrel that it had finished off in was a Carlisle barrel from Islay. I hope I pronounced it correctly. Islay, that is. I know how to pronounce Carlisle. No, it's a joke. I'm sorry, I'm not funny. And that's where you get that wonderful peaty character. But the peatiness really offsets so well with the Dabinet and the juiciness of that. And then the
when
dryness.
you look at it though as well, when you really see, because to read aged in whiskey barrels, then you actually see the colour of it. It's like, oh, did that actually carry across?
That's it.
Is that a?
That's
Is that
apple
something
and barrel.
But is that something I'm imposing on this, or is it legitimately? Does the whiskey barrel kind of transpose some colour elements?
Oh, for sure, definitely,
Okay.
definitely. And I mean,
I want to taste this now like a motherfucker. Sorry, stop talking.
oh no, sorry. Please, someone should always tell me to stop talking.
Right, let's do it.
Sorry, thank you.
That's all kinds of lovely.
Thank you.
It very much is.
This is honestly my favourite one that we have
oh my
produced.
god, there's such a woodiness to that nose. Fucking hell.
Please, can I try out of this also?
So Nicole
Oh,
needs to.
yeah, of
take this
course.
also.
Sorry, I'm just.
Crack on.
We're just sharing germs at this point.
But,
Don't worry.
Full of antibodies.
You've given me COVID a few weeks ago. It's all good.
Oh, it's nice and clean.
It's
isn't it?
insane out of that. Really
So-
incredible. Like that. Like, god damn, these glasses are amazing. Like I've drank this
Do you wanna put
cider
it
a
in
lot
plastic now?
already.
Actually, let's put
No,
it.
no, I don't. No.
So upset.
I want to stay in my bubble. Like, I've drank a lot of this already because, like I said, this is my favourite one we've produced.
Yeah.
That's why I was.
The Sultan's
interested to-
incredible.
That's why I was interested to let you drink out of that.
Yeah, like
But with the right beers though, and with a few of these tonight, it has really felt like, and
the aroma's insane.
I know that it will make me sound like, but just there is so much to the nose, and there's no other way to say it. You say, oh, the aroma. The aroma. There is.
so whiskey thick.
Whenever I drink out of these at home, I have to.
This is insane.
Voice notes to my sister out of a normal glass and then out of a regular glass because she just wants to know all the details all the time.
So this is it is a non-carbonated cider worth mentioning as well.
Oh yes.
Because it really does. I think when you go into the experience, when you're tasting it, if you've got that, hey, it's a cider type kind of thing in your mind, then carbonation obviously is the default.
I mean, there's a natural
There's
fizz
a
at the
slight-
back,
yeah,
right at the back end. But again, that's the
More
whole
about the
alluding
tang.
to the pet nat kind of side of things.
Oh, okay.
Whereas when this was packaged, it was like below 0 sugars. Like they shouldn't continue fermenting, but it's naturally going to have, and especially as long as you give it that time and age with these kind of ciders, you're going to get that little fizz.
Nice. Yeah, that has changed my mind on cider, and I think I've got a lot of questions for you when we get down
Wonderful.
to show 2. So go down to Studio 2, show 2.
Excellent.
But that was bloody delicious. We've clocked up. Wow, just went over the hour mark.
I was just going to say we're at 1 hour.
I reckon it's probably as good a time as any to piece it out.
Yeah,
So,
sounds good to me.
Tom Plant from Torn Plant. Cheers for your time.
Smashin' Crafties, Smashin' Crafties, Smashin' beers.
This has been a Free Pour Studio production.